up to looking out my window. Looking out my window at night now, there's a lot of different things going on. There's more active people, wee hours of the night, so I'm kind of paranoid a little bit.
I thought you was gonna say you was wishing on a star and
Maybe.
just looking up at the sky like, man.
I need to. Yeah, man. I wish fairies were real. At this point, I'll let one of them. But
It could be, man.
Who says they aren't?
I know. I mean, no one really knows. No one really knows. So shoot,
30,
man.
As old as we are, we don't know shit. Nothing, man.
So many mysteries that we have not uncovered, and so
yeah,
I'm open to anything at this point. Honestly, there's so much going on in the world. The world is so kind of fucked up right now, so I'm just like, I'm open for anything.
I ain't exactly got some, but we improv the whole thing.
Yeah, we improv the whole damn thing.
This too.
All right, fuck it, then. All right, cool. All right, this is your man Norris, aka Chub P, and
this is Copycat the Great, also known as Antonio Ortiz, or actually better known as Antonio Ortiz. And this is the random shit.
This is random shit, baby. So
there you go.
We promoting growth and objectivity, positivity, and optimism.
Touching on popular culture and what's going on in the world.
Yeah, we even touch on music, anything that we can get our hands on to speak on. We talk about it, man. So.
And a lot of shit talking, and it's just like me and Nora's just talking to each other, and anyone's welcome to join the platform.
Yeah, I try to stay open and closed at the same time.
Yeah,
because your mind kind of gets away from you sometimes, and then just believing in everything, and then you start feeling like there's like ghosts and spirits all around you, and
exactly.
And even if there are, it doesn't serve you, to worry about them because you can't see them anyway.
Unless they give you lottery numbers.
Right.
Well,
show me the money.
Yeah, winning lottery numbers, not just random shit.
You don't need to hump me. Just, show me the green and,
Yeah.
We can be civil. We can live in the same place.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll build whatever nice thing you want.
I don't know about the whole cult leading thing, but if you want me to get a couple of followers, fine, and whatever you want me to do.
Lord. We'll build a spaceship to heaven, right?
Yeah. Damn,
we'll go to the light together.
Yes.
I just need y'all to give up all your worldly possessions to me.
Yep.
I got y'all.
Okay.
That's the initiation. That's a part of the process. You got to just let go. Give me everything.
Give me everything. Don't worry about it. You just stay at the commune. I got you.
Oh man. That's how they even say in church, because I was raised, I was coming up Baptist. My mom was Catholic, and then we went non-denominational. But them churches, they say, hey, put in 10%, you'll get it back tenfold. And I'm still waiting on my, still waiting to reap.
Meanwhile, he got a Rolls Royce and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hey, I just wanted to say real quick, I'm glad we were actually able to get you on, and we've been needing a perspective, a different perspective of things, and
feminine energy, basically.
Yeah, some good energy, and whatever kind of energy, honestly, just some honest, a complimentary piece to us, and I'm just glad that you on with us.
Yeah,
hopefully you can be a regular or even co-host if you want, but
that'd be super cool. I was really excited when you reached out, and I didn't realize that you guys were doing this. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that we connected through social media and found each other, because there really aren't a lot of people doing this around town. We're kind of probably some of the first people kind of stepping into this territory and bringing it out to everybody. So I'm really happy about that.
Which I think we should.
Absolutely.
We should.
It's all for the movement. It's all for the great movement, you know?
Yeah. I ain't got nothing else going on.
Yeah.
Sure don't.
Just a whole lot of bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. There's a bunch of bullshit. I don't even know really where to begin. I mean, usually we don't really we have a lot of talking points, but we kind of just
improvise the shit out of everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
It's the most organic, I feel like.
Y'all watch the debate?
Oh, good Lord. I watched some of that.
Personally, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch none of it. It was just, to me, it was just like which racist pedophile is going to win the argument, I guess.
It was a screaming match, and to me, it was like, I mean, your boy up there, I don't even think he thought he was at a presidential debate. Well, I say your boy. I mean, you might like both of them. I
love both. I love both of them, man. I know they would invite me to the barbecue or whatever it is they do.
Look at you trying to be politically correct. You like both of them now. Oh, you don't?
Nah, I don't fuck with either one of them.
Man, Joe will invite you to the barbecue and he'll forget that he even invited you. So you're welcome either way.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like they forgot Joe Biden will, talk shit back.
Yeah.
They forgot that. Because you always see the memes and shit.
Well, and Trump is so he does not take a joke. He does not know how to lighten up at all. It's just
I mean,
it's funny because he is a joke to me, but
yeah, right. Takes himself so seriously though.
Yeah, really, man.
Hey, he got things to do. He needs to start taking some action with some, a lot of the ordeals lately going on. And honestly, man, okay. I don't know I don't really care who. I mean, every president that we've had. I mean, does it really matter? I mean, we still adapt and we live in this world, and it doesn't really matter who president is, right? But if you had to pick an individual, I mean, I don't know if you going with Creepy Joe or if you just gonna let Trump run another 4 years. Honestly, do we just
Creepy Joe?
Just keep. I mean, I would rather us just not even have a president for another 4 years. But honestly, if we had to pick one, Trump right now is the best candidate. I'm just saying, you got Creepy Joe and then you got Trump. So who would you rather have?
I'm curious as to why you think Trump is, because there's just so many opinions, everybody likes to highlight certain things about what he stands for and what he doesn't stand for. And it all gets very confusing for me because I don't keep up, because I'm just it's such a annoying thing to me.
It really is. And you know what? Many people take to the offense of it. They go to the offense and they say, many people I know, so I'll just start by saying, to make a long story short, the way I was raised is my father always taught me, even though he was born in 1945, it was always like, don't look at race like that all the time because it'll just hold you back even more. Even if you have an individual, you run into people who think it's about race and they claim to be, they hate a certain race. They're just as ignorant as the ones who think that, their race, it's really just evil and hate. It's all it is. No one. And so my father, it's like I saw it, but I was always able to read between the lines. So I never really assumed that, unless you're just blatantly racist, then maybe I'll be like, okay, you just your conflated idea. You're just an idiot. That's kind of how I base it. But anyway, I think it's like media, mainstream media, left or white, right wing or whatever. And people are just lost in the sauce and lost in all this mumbo, this drama. And no one really knows what to believe. And people are hating each other for no reason. And I'm just like, okay, the guy, though he might not be the best, as far as he might not be charismatic, he might not be this and that, but you're going off of just a personal view of what you see on TV. I mean, he's enacted a lot of, especially with our tax plans and policies and stuff like that. I'm not big into it just like you, but what I think is that we should go with a more sensible pick, because everyone wants to make it about race. And it's like, it's not even, y'all, it's like not even, to me, it's not about that. I don't know if everyone thinks like that. You don't have to, but I just don't think it is. I've never really been about that. I've never been an angry, I mean, maybe at one point in my life, I was an angry black man or something like that, but I never fully lost my way. I always kind of just adapted to whatever life throws at me.
Well, and I feel like we've definitely made some huge statements with racism, with all the protests. Like, we've kind of showed them, like, okay, we're not going to keep putting up with this shit.
Exactly.
Like, we're really not. We look at all these hundreds of thousands of people who are not standing for this shit anymore. Like, we see it.
Right.
Like, something needs to change.
Yeah.
And I think that they have no choice but to look at that.
That's true. I'm all about proactiveness. Like, I want to make sure I just preface this real quick. It's if someone, because the definition of racism came about from somewhere. I don't know who made it up, who conjured up that word, but at some point that term came about, right? Mm-hmm. And so my thing is, even before that, people were ignorant enough to think that, at some point in the 1600s, that maybe, hey, these guys are an inferior race, or maybe they thought of as people with melanin in their skin of a superior, but maybe, I don't know what happened along the lines with that, but someone made this word such a prominent pigmentation in everybody's life, right? And then now everybody's basing it off of just that. And I'm like, okay, if you think that it's all about just racism and all about this, all about that, well then what the hell is this world really about, in my opinion? I never really thought of it like that. I guess I just don't really think of it like that. Like I got a lot of friends who think like that. And it gets exhausting sometimes, because it's like people are just pushing off this. It's because this is where I'm not in my life because the white man's holding me back. Right. I'm like, no, that's not the case, dude. Like, we make horrible decisions, and sometimes we land in bad spots, but we can still get ahead if we work hard. I'm still not where I want to be, but I can guarantee you, of the white man as a whole is not holding me back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can be like realistic about different ways that you've been victimized, but then you still have to take responsibility for what you've done wrong, and what you haven't done to change, your situation.
Yeah.
So that goes for everybody.
Yeah.
It just falls back on an individual thing. Because personally, I would like to just see them thrown like in a steel cage match, and
right?
Whatever happens, that's
see who comes
president.
out.
Yeah, you be
survival of the fittest.
Because to me, politics to me seems like they're not sending us their best. They're not sending us their most intelligent. They're not sending us like altruistic people that, think of society as a whole, not just their agenda and whatever, political movement or party they got going on. It just seems like more the same old shit. So we got to stick with one another. And
that's my whole perspective on the whole thing, is that it is, as far as the politics and the campaigns go, it is all what it always has been. And so we have to focus on ourselves. We have to focus on what we can do. We have to focus on it, to put our mental energy towards something else, because no matter what you focus on is what will manifest. That's a law. That's a law of the universe. Whatever you put your energy, your mental energy towards, is what you're going to see more of. And so those of us who remain positive, relentlessly, we start to really succeed and see more positivity, and that's just how it goes.
That's beautiful. That's hella beautiful put right there. That's true. I need to put less of my energy into, like I said, I used to put my energy all the time into politics, and then I realized this is such a one-sided affair. You know, left versus right, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I in? Because I feel like I was always on the fence. I never really.
Right?
My family grew up Democrat, right? But they never. And I hate to keep making this about left and white, right? Well, I'm just as an example. They grew up Democrat.
You're being a libtard, man.
I know, right? I'm being a damn libtard.
I got called lib yesterday too. I'm like,
you did?
Yeah. I don't really fit in any of those categories, but thanks.
Damn. See what I'm saying? People be hating. They like, you make an opinion, they put you in a box. Oh, you a libtard, or you a leftist, or you a like, come on, man, just
right-wing nut job.
Yeah, and she came out of nowhere. I made a status about stay woke because I heard somebody say born woke, and I thought it was funny, so I reposted it. Yeah. And she's like, she just came out of nowhere, just straight politicking on me, and I'm like, I didn't say anything about politics. This is so deep for you.
Internet Karen just came out and just wanted to.
Yeah, it was wild.
Came out of the sky like a hawk and shit. Like every other post she had, that was the one she went for.
Yeah.
I mean, she made it a point. Yeah, she made it a point. She was gonna comment. She was gonna try to make your life.
And then she started talking about my hair. And like, girl, go back to your natural hair. You're beautiful with your natural hair. I was like, man. Damn. I put her, I did it. I did the thing though. I put her in her place. It's pretty crazy. There's like 70 comments on my Facebook because everybody's like, what is this chick's problem?
What is she talking about? Oh my God. Oh yeah, but what beauty products do you use? Shit like that, clapping back. I don't know how to.
I was like, I have no idea who you are. I have no idea why you're coming at me, but I'm beautiful either way. And what's up with you?
There you go.
We'll just say she had a rough day and she needed to let that steam off some damn where.
Some kind of way.
I think she has a crush on me.
She might. She might.
It's an envious. It's like what do you call it? Yeah, it's like she's attracted to you, so maybe she's just like, she's jealous of you at the same time. So she.
Well, yeah, and I can read people pretty well, so you don't want to like come at me like that. I'll just kind of like read you like a book.
Even over the book, man. Yo, people are so passive aggressive on the book, man. This Facebook, I'm like, y'all would not even like. There were so many people you run into them and they'll never say that to you. Like never.
Hell no.
Facebook is crazy for that.
Yeah. Unless it was our last job, Tonio. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody said what the fuck they wanted.
They won't say it in front of me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, Alexis, they were, I say this all the time, but they were scared of him at a job. He has like his demeanor is kind of like a cold, silent type, but he's actually, as you can see, he's pretty nice, pretty talkative. You know what I'm saying? But nobody fucked with him. No one talked to him. He could have slacked off for 12 hours and nobody would have said nothing because he just has that energy.
Slack off for 12 hours. What you talking about?
This shit was hilarious, man. And then he finally came and talked to me, and I was like, "Yo, this dude is cool, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Are you gonna try to like off me when I'm not? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It's just a risk, man.
but shoot, man. But yeah, people are they take it too far on social media sometimes. So
it was crazy. But
and then it's like they don't research whatever the fuck they talk. That's what gets me, like, drives me insane. Nobody look shit up. They just go off some meme or some hearsay type shit. Like, bruh, like, stop being a fucking, what is it, a drone?
Yeah.
Look shit up yourself,
a robot.
Bruh.
Well, and what you said about how they're not bringing their best to the table, I just feel like everyone in politics, like they're just straight puppets. They're being used, and so they don't. Their level of consciousness is literally so low, actually, and they don't really think for themselves, and they're just kind of there doing the thing, and they don't know. Yeah, they have no interest in bringing their best. They have interest in keeping what they have going.
So that whole bringing your best, that's a quote from Trump himself when the Mexicans and South America was coming over. I was just using that to, bring home a point.
Yeah. It's soap opera. Yeah. It's a fucking soap opera, man. Yeah. Everybody on there is filling in. I mean, they literally, that's why
they're playing their party, basically.
Those segments that you see on TV, I mean, it's all an act. It's like, okay, you got 5 minutes to just rile everybody up, say the most offensive things you can. And it's easy for Donald to do that. It's easy for Nancy to do that. It's easy for, and it's, you put them on TV and go to work, do what we pay you to do, incite violence and do this and do that. We want you to do that and just confuse the populace, man. Confuse everybody and make everybody hurt each other and shit.
Yeah, it's really insulting. And that's why I just kind of try and stay out of it.
Yeah.
That's why same old shit for me, man, because I see that as a joke, because even when this whole, the George Floyd things was going on, like,
right.
No, not one leader came out and said, okay, let's institute the funds to educate our cops, and let's sit at the table and just redo this whole fucking justice system, which it seems like they just sit on their hands and everyone gets mad, and then they try to play PR and try to play it down and wait till everything fucking dies down.
Oh, the PR game.
And then, back to the same old bullshit, man.
Well, you know what though? To counteract with that, alongside with, because what I want to say real quick is this, man, and I tell my friends this too. It's like I even talked to my father about this. My father's still, relevant in my life, and I was telling him, I'm like, yo, Pop, man, like, what if like, our own race, if Black people or people of color decided to say, hey, you know what, we're gonna get up out of these shitty ass neighborhoods, get our education and go to school, and then we're gonna, like, get off of welfare and get off of this. I know some people need it. It's there for the assistance, but my thing is that the welfare system would be done away with, and we would have, honestly, I'm gonna tell you straight up, man, in my neighborhood growing up, there were many mothers and many irresponsible dads and irresponsible fathers of those mothers that thought that the father was going to be in the life, which, and they just ducked and ran. A lot of time what happened was that they got on this welfare stuff, and which is why I'm supporting, self-intuition and like self-sufficiency. They laid with these men, or the men ducked and ran, which is irresponsible on them as well. I blame both parties. And what happened is they were like, well, the government's going to take care of me anyway, so go ahead and leave and I'll just get you child support. And it's like, it's a constant vicious cycle. And it's like, if both parties, men and women, both realize, hey, let's just both be the responsible there are people, I respect people, even though it might not be personally like a healthy thing, that, like a selfish look at it is if you stay together with someone for the purpose of the kid. But you got to understand that sometimes statistically, man, that does wonders for the kid, because the kid gets to grow up in two parents. They need to see that love between the two parents too. They don't need to see fights and constant arguing and complaining and bickering and domestic violence. But if two people got together and said, we're going to be responsible, and if we lay together and we get married and we had a kid, we're going to stay together, blase, whatever. A lot of people ain't doing that today. And no one wants to take responsibility, so they rely on the government to do it for them. And I'm not trying to be a dick here, but that's kind of one of the problems right there. Mm-hmm. And you would see the government, because that, to me, I think the government wants people to stay reliant upon them. They want people to collect assistance and do that because they'll be controlled. Have you noticed something? When welfare was starting to go down, remember when they were talking about taking away welfare or taking away certain assistances for people? People got so pissed off because they had been collecting shit for free forever. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as you lift a finger to say, we're going to take it away from you, people act out, they lash out, they steal, they rob, all that shit. I'm telling you, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, they want to be lazy and stuff,
So just self-sufficiency. Just go ahead and do. It's gonna be hard. I still do it, but I'm definitely not in the mental. I've never thought about robbing or killing anybody. Because my dad never allowed me to even do that. He said, you're gonna work hard, and no matter how hard it gets, no matter how hard it gets and how difficult it is, you're gonna get through it. And some people don't really have that. So if it's there for assistance and you need it, that's fine. If you desperately need it, but don't become reliant upon it. That's the only thing I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we talked about that. It's just a safety net thing, but because I came up in that fucked up situation, one parent household type shit, and it all just comes down to who's influencing the child and just education in general, man. And then of course it's an individual thing because, bro, maybe shit, it took me till maybe 25, 26 before I realized like I need to do things differently.
Yeah.
Cause I was,
and you realized it though.
I was wilding out a lot, man. So
well, shit, I was too. As soon as I got out the house, I was
I was wilding out in the house. So yeah, it was. It wasn't and I was in that environment you talking about, man. Drugs everywhere and just crazy shit going on. Walking down the street smoking a blunt, 15 years old. Nobody says nothing because that's what everyone's used
it's the
to,
norm.
Man.
Everyone used to it.
Mm-hmm.
I smoked every now and then too. Ain't nothing. I mean, that's one thing I don't think there's nothing wrong with weed at all. And that's an old argument, and we can talk about that for days, but it's from the earth, and I'm all about like if it
should
helps
all
you,
be legal to me.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like I'm not taking a hit at anybody, because whenever I brought that up with some of my friends, I've been excommunicated from many of my friends that I used to have in the past because of what I had said about that.
The devil's lettuce.
Yeah. Devil's lettuce. That's cilantro, but
that left
don't put it on your tacos.
Cigarette. Yeah, that left hand cigarette, bro.
But yeah. Well, so shit, man. Well, that's my take on that shit, but I don't know.
The universe is always trying to teach you, like, always. As soon as you learn something, it's right there, boom, giving you a situation or a scenario where you're supposed to keep learning. You're supposed to keep growing. Yeah. And you always have a choice to kind of remain where you're at and in the same place. But, like, if you think about it, that's not really why we're here.
Like not to remain stagnant, like to keep progressing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the universe is always giving you those challenges to help you grow, to help you evolve, and to help you live kind of a different life, or but then again, the opportunity has not always been equal. It truly hasn't in the ways that the world has been today. So once we all get on board and start putting our mental energy towards how we're supposed to be helping change, wrap around the world, then that's when we'll start seeing it more and more and more.
Some more progress, yeah, for sure.
It's sad that you say that, and it makes sense to me. It makes sense to Norse, but it's people out there that think you're just here to, I don't know, to follow the system. You will have some kids, buy a car, buy a house, and just like they just follow the program. And even when I was wilding out as a kid, I was like, that's insane. Why do you just want to keep doing, like, life is more than just following protocol or whatever the hell those
stalemated things. Those things that I got you.
And there's people out there. There's people that just seem like they happy to be at a job for 30 years doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, bro, bro, I'll do something for like 2 or 3 years and be like fuck next? This. Like,
I'm out of here.
Yeah, fuck that.
Dude, there's so much truth to what you had just said, man. Because honestly, give me a year and a half. I mean, after 6 months, I'm already itching like for something else. I'm like, man, I gotta get out of here. Like I'm always
go
on
a
the
vacation
move.
or
Yeah,
something.
I gotta go do something. Like I can't be stuck here. And God forbid those stuck in cubicles and fucking those office freakouts are. Oh, that is. I mean, I feel bad for people who work in office.
The crazy thing about the cubicle thing, look at how people work now. They're working remotely. Like, you mean to tell me we could have been doing this shit like this maybe 5 years ago or something?
True that. True that.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, at least I can like be at home, and I'm not too much on the liquor no more. But I mean, I can be in my comfort of my own home. And I can, drink a Mai Tai, whatever you do with your life. And you can,
snort a little coke.
Go over expense. Snort a little coke. Go over some expense reports. Don't fudge them up. And then just get back to what you're doing,
It's working from home.
Yeah. I like it.
Ain't even got to get dressed.
Nope.
No.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, yeah, that's... Like I said, that's wild that they just figured people could do that now. Like
we're just at the beginning stages of the awakening. We're literally, that's why it looks so crazy and so bad, because like a lot of us have awakened, but a lot of us are like, it's really, really happening now.
Yeah, like the kids are coming out of the pool now, finally.
Mm-hmm. They're waking from that deep, deep sleep, one by one.
Okay, fill me in on because here's what we talking about here. I want to make sure we on the same page.
Talking about swimming and waking up.
Okay. Yeah, I love
too many analogies.
I love the analogies. I love them. Y'all are more. That's why I like talk, because I'm very grounded in my nature. So I actually learn a lot from y'all, because y'all have very mystique about y'all. Just putting that out there. So these analogies y'all using, what the fuck y'all talking about?
Well, it's good to talk about it because we're bridging the gap,
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Just in on it, or
yeah, I can give him my
and for the viewers too, because they're when we
I'll expand in a little afterwards.
All right. I bet.
My perspective is that this whole planet has been dominated by masculine energy for a long time, like a long, long time. That's why you saw a lot of war, a lot of aggression, a lot of control and power, and just the way it all went down.
Right.
And if it was dominated by primarily or only feminine power, it would have looked completely different. But it was dominated by masculine power. And not to say either of them are, evil or good. If it was dominated by feminine power, that's not balance. It was out of balance. It was dominated by masculine. And I would say just over the last few years, I don't know how long, but the feminine power has been stabilizing itself on the earth, and so it's brought balance. And first, the planet stabilized itself in both the masculine and the feminine power, and then it challenges the beings on the planet to do the same thing. And feminine, masculine, yin and yang, creation, destruction, it is all the same thing, and you need the balance of everything in order to create harmony and to create a better world. Can
I ask you one thing? And with that, because if that is the case, and because what I've been noticing is with this balance you speak of, what I'm noticing is that there are a lot more parents and younger kids, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that are now starting to talk about gender changes and be more. They're little boys is at least from what I'm seeing, especially hell when I go to Walmart, I see it. Just going to the store, and I bring my daughter to the store, and I see the way some kids act with their parents, and this level of sensitivity that you're talking about. Is it going to be to a point where kids are going to be sensitized and like where masculine nature is going to be hidden and untaught? Because my thing is that now kids are, I mean, there's 7-8-year-olds talking about boys saying that they're girls and thinking that they're going to be they want sex changes and all that stuff. And this isn't just from propagated news. This is like actually even at, I'll be honest, even at my child's daycare, I mean, there's a lot of what's taught there is, boys really can't be boys anymore. And when I grew up, I was always taught to, be tough, be strong. But that's what the mothers are there for anyway, to be sensible, to be not just sensible, but to give that nurturing. But the father is there to actually raise the kid for the hardships and the struggles. Not saying mothers can't do that, but that's really what the purpose of the father is for. Mm-hmm. And when you inject too much sensitivity and too much of that, I hate to say the word soft nature, but you inject too much of that, trust me, it's going to come out later on, from what I've noticed, in aggression, because you're taught if you're sensitizing your kids for so long, they're going to realize when they grow up that the world is not like that. No one's going to hold your hand. No one's going to rub your back all the time. No one's going to, you know what I mean? And no one's going to bend at your will because you feel offended at something, because you want it to be this way. You have to adapt. So my question is do you think maybe is that somewhat of a skewed view? Because I'm just my opinion on it, just because I'm trying to understand. That's all. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I feel that there is very obviously two genders. There always has been two different genders, and but what has been oppressed for a long time is the feminine energy. And although we are there is men and there is women, we both have also within us both masculine and feminine. So whichever you are leaning more towards, both need to be integrated for you to kind of fully actualize. And so aside from that, I've also had to just learn to have a really open mind, because we're going through so many changes together and as a collective, and change is the only constant. And so just kind of making sure that the child knows that they are their own individual being, and whatever you choose to teach them is definitely up to you. And but to make sure that they don't go out into the world and deny people for the choices that they've made, because you can't control anyone else.
Right. No, that's right. That's true. That's true. The constant. Go ahead, Tanner.
No, I was just gonna add to the whole thing about that. So pretty much, like, to me, it seems like kids are coming into a self-realization like a lot quicker, and as adults, we should be able to let them know to express it, but at the same time, like you were saying, like, you got to put them out there in the world a little bit to let them know, like, not everyone's going to be as open as me, or maybe some of your friends or your neighbors. Like, some people are actually going to, look at you like some kind of,
like something wrong with
some
you, or
omen,
like
something wrong. Yeah. Cause just when I was at my dad's funeral, man, one of the family, they saw that ring I was wearing, and they was like, "Oh, you got this, dark shit or whatever." And the dude wouldn't even shake my hand, man.
Yeah,
I didn't shake your hand when I first met you either.
Well, I didn't notice you because I just put my hand out there. I was like, "How you doing? I'm Antonio." Blah blah blah. Yeah. And he just said my energy was wrong. I was like, "Oh, okay, sure."
What do you know about energy, bro?
Yeah, I know, man. Like, what you talking about?
I was like, "Oh, okay, okay." But yeah, at the same time, and like I said, kids are expressing themselves a lot quicker, and they're learning shit. So we gotta kind of like not keep them in a bubble. Like you have to let them know, like it's people always talking shit about this and that. Because remember the whole Jaden thing? He was wearing that dress, but he didn't. Yeah, but he didn't see the thing. People didn't know, like, what was it, Gucci or whatever? They paid him a couple million, and I was like, well, shit, bro.
Gucci give me the dress.
Yeah, give me the dress. I'll wear that motherfucker.
That's corporate. That's capital. That's corporate American talk. I understand that part,
but
they still put themselves out there.
Everyone talks shit about them kids just because they will express themselves. However,
yeah, but okay. Here's my thing
like
on
a
that.
Freak show.
Here's my thing on that. You people. There's nothing wrong. You're not going to keep a kid in a bubble by exposing them to and telling them about it. But one thing that has to remain constant is when you're what I'm noticing, as because I'm still kind of a fresh parent, is I know, Tonio, I know you already got your youngin', but with me as being a new parent living in this world age today, I can't grow up teaching my kid, like, not teaching her. What I mean is I can't grow up swaying back and forth between right and wrong or like the gray areas. Like, no, I'm going to say, hey, there are people out there that are all about this, and this. That's fine. But I have to keep her level-headed, and I allow her to look in between all of those things. I have to allow her to look in between politics and religion while still giving her a baseline of, because what's going to happen is this. She's going to grow up and formulate her own opinion about everything, no matter what I tell her, right? But in the end, guess what she's going to lean on? She's still going to lean on those values that I brought her up with. If I bring her up in a household where, hey, yeah, you can be a boy today, and then, oh, you can be a girl, and you know what? One day you can get a sex change if you want, or one day, like, she's going to grow up more confused, and she's not going to have anything to lean on, no values or sense of self, because I didn't instill that in her in the beginning. If you grow up later and you turn out that way, then that's definitely, an understandable, because after a certain point, after 18, 19, whatever, you're pretty much in the world by yourself, and you can't really blame anybody. You definitely probably can't blame your parents, especially if they did all they could and they did the best job they could. And maybe they didn't force you or nudge you a certain way, but they definitely brought you up to be a sensible, honest, and just human being. So if you decide to go out and do crack, turn into a man, or become be homosexual, whatever, then fine. But guess what? At the end of the day, your values or where you came from are still going to be a part of you, because you're always going to be going back like, okay, maybe what I'm doing is wrong. It allows you to actually look at yourself and say, okay, let me go back to, because my father was all masculine, all man, all the time. My mother obviously was the opposite. That was a good combination of both. My dad wasn't growing up teaching me that, he would know if I came in the house dressed like a girl, he'd be like, no, take that shit off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my mom would have whooped my ass too.
And my mom would too. She'd tell me, like, you don't need to be dressing like that. You're not a girl. So that was just the level. That's just the basis right there. But, one thing I noticed is that, they push that, a lot of that, for a lot of homes who push a certain religion and certain things on people, they grow up and defy. So I came home one day when I was 16, 17, I had got my ears pierced. My dad let that go, but he was kind of upset because he thought I should have waited till I was 18. My dad was very, he was
old school. Man.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because guess what? I noticed I'm old school too. And I need that, because I would have went out in this world and I've gotten in trouble with the law before too. And I had both parents. but we weren't perfect. But my thing is that I'm far better off with that basis level of understanding, and like they didn't sway like, you know, what you should learn, what you should. It was always like, this is what it's going to be until you're 18 and out of the house. This is the way it's going to be. You don't have to like it or accept it. And we're going to teach you this, and you're going to learn this. Now, when you're 18, what do parents always say? You can do whatever the hell you want to do after that. Because guess what? They know.
As you ain't in my house.
Yeah. And guess what?
Don't forget that.
After you out, what do they say? Hey, I mean, you made a mistake. They're like, you're going to get yourself out of that problem. You know, you're not going to call us for 50 years. So that's what I'm saying. That's my only point. Like, I have to allow her to make her decisions later on. But while she's still in my house, it's still going to be my way. And I'm going to show her how to be less emotional, because she doesn't need to be emotional all the time growing up, because that doesn't really get you anywhere. In my experience, it doesn't. I've tried it. I thought being emotional was going to get me out of a jam. It made it worse. I wound up getting more angry. So I had to actually think back to what my father and mother instilled in me, which was hard work, toughness, and overcoming things. That's what I did. And now I'm not maybe always where I want to be, but I'm far better off than where I would have been. And there's a lot of trouble I avoided because I finally realized right when I hit about 25, like same age as you, Tonio, I was like, shit, I need to stop doing this, man. I'm getting in trouble with the law. It was getting stupid. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me. That's just me.
I think that it's important to. Okay. I think it's important to foster or tune into the qualities, though, of a woman, because women are naturally more emotional. They really are. And so, you know, you can tell her, instead of being a super emotional person, because if you just cry about everything, it's not going to get you anywhere. No. But you can be like, okay, you need to put your emotional energy towards something that is more beneficial to you, towards art, towards you know, dancing, towards singing, towards artistic things, so that those emotions don't well up inside, and so that they have an outlet, you know, because like a lot of women who have become masculine and who have had to learn their way through a mostly masculine world, that's how they've adapted, you know, is becoming more masculine. And so I think just teaching her the way to allow those things to have an outlet in a more productive way. And then for men, the masculine energy is more of the doing and action. And so making sure that they know that tuning into emotions sometimes, and being present and learning love, and so that they have an understanding of emotions and what they are and what they mean. And
have you ever been with an emotional man, like an overly emotional man? Like, have you ever been with one that's just like, they cry, actually they might have even cried more than you, or they complain all the time?
What they call them, clingy.
Clingy.
Because I'll tell you straight up, I used to be emotional when I was, because you know what I'm saying? Like, that was way in the past. I had to kind of flip that. I was like, this is not the way to be. Obviously, I'm first and second heartbreak.
And
have you ever been with
men do have the emotion. See, that's the feminine side of the man. You know, we still have the balance of them both within us, no matter whether we're a man or a woman, and neither of them are anything to be afraid of. And I haven't been with a super emotional man.
That's a turn off.
That'd be a turn off. Boy.
You know that'd be a turn off if you dating an emotional man. Like that's a turn off.
I have been with men who are in tune with their emotions, and some of the a few guys who I've been with who were actually like really, really rough and tough at certain points in their lives eventually have a very, very soft side too.
You think maybe they calmed their nature over? Because here's the thing. When I was it was
you
conflated.
Have to, because if you are a guy who has been in gangs, or when you try to step away from that, if you do, society operates a certain way, so you have to adapt, and you start to feel these new things, you start to feel the emotions, and you're like, whoa, what is this? So you have to be patient with yourself and understanding and compassionate that you're going through a change.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But the whole, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say that whole thing, like I came up with something that I called emotional maturity, and what is it? Like just like y'all were talking about, your emotions, you gotta be in balance with it. You gotta, like, everyone's gonna get angry. You just gotta figure out, what do you want to use that anger for? Like, do you want to just go crazy right now and fuck shit up? Or
use logic and reason with it.
Or do you want to balance that out? Like she said, do something creative with it.
Well, see, like, and then, that's the balance, though. It's like,
and then you got the other thing where you can just hold it, and just like when you throw the Mentos in the fucking Diet Coke, it's gonna explode at one point, and it's not gonna be a good thing when it does it like that.
Right.
So
I'm not saying to act like it's not there. You definitely should not act like whatever you're feeling is not there. What I'm saying is,
and that's weird, because that is old school. That's what they used to do back then. Just hold the shit in, and
but see that's what misguided folks do. See, because I'm still learning this about myself. Like, the perfect blend to me, this is just to me, now that I'm in my 30s and I'm there, and like even when I meeting my wife, like the way she was, and the way like I realized I got to be a leader, and I can't sway too much like that, because here's the thing, man, with that whole emotion, and as crazy as it is, and if you let it get the best of you, it can do horrible things. It can be a bad thing, and sometimes it can be a good thing. But my thing is that the example of male energy, because most women that I've dated and that I've seen in other relationships, and my friends that are dating, and older couples who are married, it's a perfect blend when the man is just a man. He's calm, cool, collected. He doesn't lose his temper often at all, if not at all. And a woman usually likes to learn from that, because there's a lot of things that are in a man that women actually can benefit from. And the things that are in a woman can show a man how to, maybe, like you had said, be more understanding of this, that, and the other. But logic always is, that's the basis of understanding, is logic. So I think the understanding that we're talking about is more of an emotional understanding, but with men, it's just more of a logical understanding, because if men constantly use emotion to understand things, we'll lose sight of the actual logic behind it. So I don't disagree with your assessment, because that's actually well thought. Like, I agree with that to a certain extent. But see, if I completely lose my way, like, if God forbid, because my wife, if I was emotional too along with her, that nothing would ever get done. I mean, have you ever dated somebody? I used to date this girl, and she was and I was emotional. I thought I was, and we like cared about each other so much, but it was too much. We invested too much time. We didn't even have enough time for other activities. It was just too much care. We finished each other's sentences, but it was like it's like you had no time to actually even have a healthy conversation about things, because you were so invested in the emotion. You argued a lot, and you felt so close, but it really wasn't closeness in the end. It was discourse, because you're too the solidarity thing is just this emotional thunderstorm of, I care about you so much, don't ever leave me, or this, that, and the other, whatever. You're using emotion all the time. I have my projects, my wife has hers. We happy sometimes when we're not around each other, not in that way of, because we miss each other, but we know that we have responsibilities to our kids, so it's things we got to do. So it's like, I just think if it's too much emotion, it's a bad thing. If it's a level balance, then fine. But I think a masculine man and a feminine woman is the perfect balance alone. And no one needs to thwart or mess with that. That's just me. And I'm not trying to be a hypocrite, because I used to be that emotional dude. Trust me. And I had to get out of that shit because I realized it wasn't doing me no good. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl Thomas.
Well, I like what he said about emotional maturity, and I agree. Like, feelings and emotions, they really can get in the way of things, and I feel like that's where, like, healing and integrating all parts of yourself, of your past, what holds you back, what stands in your way, just kind of like gaining an understanding of all of that will create more harmony and more balance.
True that. I agree with that.
You gotta go there. You gotta go to those places to gain the understanding, and sometimes you need help doing that, and
just
then
like the light
you just
and the
get
dark
to
side.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, when I dated, I was more of a stoic. Like, I didn't really show that much emotion, and when they did see emotion, it was usually like some anger. But yeah, it was really out of whack, and I wasn't gonna get close to anyone like that.
Yeah, survive.
Yeah.
You
I did that. Talk back to teachers. I talked back to. I mean, they say sit, I'd stand. They say stand, I'd sit. I did that whole defiance thing too.
Rebellion.
Yeah, and it's hard, man, to sift through it all. Like, we could talk for 6 hours and we'll never come to a full understanding of the purpose of good emotion and bad, like, emotion in general. Like, there's no pinpointing it. It's all how you deal with it.
Yeah, because we all have our own perspectives and shit. So it's, of course, we're never gonna be 100% eye to eye. Like,
right.
We're not some kind of collective unity. So
no, we three people on this podcast. We agree, disagree, and have healthy conversation, and that's what I want to keep. I hope we can keep this shit going, because this is awesome. I love it.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
And I've done like a lot of work and a lot of integration on myself. So like, that is where a lot of my perspectives come from. Like, I study a lot of philosophers. I'm always trying to learn. I'm constantly like, I have pushed myself like crazy. So if I've said anything that seems a little bit insensitive or harsh, or like just not even open-minded at all, that is where some of that comes from, because some of the teachers that I've had too, some of my teachers have been relationships, and they were really fucking hard on me.
I get it.
And so that's kind of where I'm coming from. I try to be compassionate, but I try to be real.
No, that's just good. We respect that. Trust me.
Yep, we're all a work in progress. So.
Yep.
You see, that one of my favorite philosophers. It's funny you said philosophers, because I go back to him all the time. Is Carl Rogers, and he's one of my favorite psychologists, psychoanalysts, whatever position you want to give him. And mainly what he did with his patients was he just had them come in, and he said, and he just mirrored them. He just mirrored them. That's all he did. And he talked to them, and he kept asking them the same question over, like, hey, like, if they came in and said, I have a problem with my husband and he keeps doing this, this, and this, or I have a problem financially, this, he'll just reiterate it, say, okay, what do you think you should do about this, this, and this? And then she'll repeat it, and then he'll repeat the same question again and reiterate what she said. And she's like, oh, I just said that. It's like, well, yeah, you just said. So that's what, and he never says that's what you should do. He always has, it's like, to me, it's brilliant. It's very standard and boring, but it worked. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always good to listen. I mean, the more knowledge you seek and the more perspective that you go for, the more you'll gain. You know, the more you'll be able to reach more people and kind of just go straight into their whatever they need.
Whatever they need, yeah, that's true. Hell yeah.
Because I like my research, and then I like psychedelics as well. They have been a great teacher.
Hell yeah.
Especially for my own shit.
I wish I had some psychedelics around my apartment complex here. I mean, I wish someone might plant, I don't know, something around here. I can stumble upon it. You know what I'm saying?
Just call me after the podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's around. It's around.
I know what I mean. Y'all the plugs, so I guess I will definitely
not plugs. I don't know nothing about no drugs.
I'm just playing. Oh man. But yeah, shoot, man.
Good to keep going, or
that's on y'all, man. That's on y'all. We can keep it going, or because there was a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about, like because this is good that we have you on, because we can actually dive into, like, maybe even on a later episode if we want to do one another day, like relationships, like that's, but not like this, you know, the boring radio show host that do the.
It's like a 1,000 part chapter thing.
Yeah, let's get into it. Get a woman's perspective on it, man.
Absolutely, I'd love to. Relationships are you know, they're the most beautiful thing and one of the most challenging things.
Yeah, damn right about that. You ain't lying about that. God damn.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, man.
Do some Karen talk if you want.
Oh my God. We might not have enough time because oh man.
That's a whole new can of worms.
That is that's a I don't know how people feel about that, but that's a whole breed. It's like a new wave of just, and it's every day. Every day it's a new video about another Karen doing some Karen things and doing, you know, just, I don't know. I don't know where to begin.
What Karen, what?
This is how the chick, you know how the chick went off on you on Facebook?
Oh, yeah.
That sort of thing. But they're going, you know, what was it? We had Barbecue Becky and...
Let me speak to your manager, Monique.
Oh, yeah. The different types. Types.
Yeah. We had the one, they had the one at the store talking about the kid touched her butt and...
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yep. No, people are interesting. Like, I love the idea of getting, you know, into relationships and kind of into people and why they act the way they act, because they're interesting. I've done a lot of observations. I've been in like a handful of relationships. None of them were very like long.
Okay.
One of my longest one was 3 years, and I just feel like I picked up and learned so much from each relationship, and it was kind of like one after the other after the other. And now I've been single for probably like 3 or 4 months, and it's really like fallen into perspective even deeper now, because I've had time to just sit back and have my own space and just like kind of analyze everything that happened, and even myself too, you know.
Did oh, go ahead, Tonio. What's up? Did you have
No, I was just saying I was about to sing, but the single life, but nobody want to hear. Nobody
single
want to hear
lady, single ladies.
All right, she's single, but you know, she might not be available to mingle. So
not ready.
You know,
to be honest.
And she on Facebook too. It's gonna be insane.
Go ahead. What's your URL? Go ahead. We'll put it out there. Promote it. Whatever you want to put all that out there. You channel. Oh my goodness. All I was gonna ask you was did you keep them short? Like, were you the one that called it off in a majority of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Was there a reason you did? Was there a reason why?
Yeah, there was always a reason.
It wasn't cliche like it's not you, it's me. Sort of
no. So I mean, sometimes I would say that to
mend the wound. Mend the wound.
So they can feel, yeah.
But at the same time, I would try to be, as real as possible. Like, you're manipulative as fuck. No.
Oh, okay, there you go. Hey, yeah. I'm glad somebody said it.
Yeah, it's
men and women crazy. Can be manipulative. Yeah.
Right. Well, and then, yeah, you really. I try to have an open mind, as much of an open mind as possible. So I am trying to kind of see what they saw too, but it's a lot. I ended up in a lot of really strange situations, and there was just certain like deal breakers, like straight up just was not getting treated right and well. And I kind of love kind of blindly sometimes, especially right off the bat. Like, if I decide I have feelings for somebody, like sometimes I just literally can't see their flaws. It's
bigger picture, yeah.
Bigger picture, yeah. And then
they call that the honeymoon phase, I think.
Yeah, right.
But the honeymoon phase don't last 3 years. That lasts 3 months, and then But even after that, then you start noticing that. I mean, they snore a little too much. They got fungus on their feet. You never noticed before.
Well, that's when you start living with them, because you can do the honeymoon thing for a long time if you're both in separate places. But once you start spending nights and kind of living together,
yeah,
that's where you start coming up with the excuses. Like, you're the perfect. You'll be like, you're the perfect mate, but just not for me.
Yeah, some
sort of shit like that. Like, it's somebody out there for you.
You check every box, and I don't know how to even equate that to what people, what their preferences are. Because I mean, if it worked for 3 months, 4 months, I don't know why it couldn't work for 3-4 years. But
you start to. Some people like withhold their colors. Like, they withhold a lot of things about themselves. Like, not everybody is super real.
Yeah.
Right.
And upfront.
Look at Facebook.
Or they do certain things. Yeah, exactly. Or they do certain things to manipulate you into a position, whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
And it's kind of wild. And
Right.
Actually, it's actually nature, because if you look, the animal kingdom has like birds that do their little dances and shit. So it's just part of the whole.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
It's just the whole.
Really does.
Let me pull them in, but
do their little dance.
Yeah, do the dance. She comes over,
ruffle your feathers a little bit.
Yeah, once they start getting to know you, then it's like, wait a minute,
hold up.
Like, that dance was beautiful, but I can't deal with no more.
Physically, I can get
that song was really nice.
Yeah. Physically, I get down with you, but after that, like, goodbye.
Yeah.
Damn. Honestly though, man, it's like, it's not like when you're trying to reel them in. I say reel them in when you date
whatever,
man. You doing that. It's like no one's really gonna get in depth initially about ideology. And honestly, yeah, you're right. The man and or the woman is trying to just notch it. They're trying to make it like a fit, like force it to be a fit.
Doing the mating call.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just kind of like, damn, after 3, y'all got a point, man. It's true. Some people, but I think it's important not to put your whole spiel out there, because then it's too repelling. If you put too much out there in the beginning, there's some things that you have to, it's not like you got to keep, I don't believe in omitting all of like that, but no matter who you trust, I mean, are you going to unveil every deep, dark part of you and yourself? Like, be realistic about it. Everything, because I'm sure that some things in those relationships were your fault, and then some were his. And then Antonio, even with us too. I mean, a lot of times the women, and then sometimes we mess up too. But my thing is, are you gonna really completely unveil yourself to somebody? I mean, you can do I'd say 90% max for everybody, because there's a lot of parts to us. I mean, especially when survival instincts kick in, blah, blah, blah. How you really feel about certain situations when met with it, you might behave a little differently because
you talking about when you I guess courting a relationship, or you talking about like a long relationship?
What I'm saying is that even in the courting stage, you're not going to know everything. And then years later, you might find out that, they're into doing something weird that you don't like. But it's okay, well, I courted you all.
The deal breaker, right?
Yeah. So what do you do about that? Like, do you want someone to just completely just give everything?
Well, I mean, it depends, man. Like, it's just chapters. Like, you open little by little. If they're liking what you give out each chapter of that book, then we just move on to the next chapter. It just kind of, I don't know, it's just a flow, man, because it could be some, like you said, some might come up that's a deal breaker, and then at that point,
you married 20 years, a deal breaker comes up.
Oh, no matter, Lord, it shouldn't be no deal breaker after 20 years.
Yeah,
but
shouldn't be. But, but sometimes it's money. I mean, let me just say this.
Lord.
Sometimes it's, if you met with somebody 20 years, there's a certain lifestyle you're accustomed to. Maybe there's a certain level of appreciation you're used to receiving. And then 15, 20 years later, you're broke. You don't have this. You don't have this. And not even just about money, even emotionally. Something happens, and one of those people, because you've been living on that high confidence. You've been riding that confidence donkey the whole relationship, right? And then you have one moment of adversity, and then next thing you know, it's shot down, and you see how they really are, and then you're like, damn, they're completely throwing their lives away. I mean, do you leave them? Do you there's a lot of things that happen.
That's why you got to make sure that money's not super important to you, because
not just money.
Objects can be taken away at any moment.
I think Nora's talking more like not just money, just like how the interaction with the relationship is, kind of like like you're saying, like, okay, so 20 years, they always talk things out, but then all of a sudden
they're not able to.
One of the others is, not telling their whole side or keeping things like keeping secrets.
I feel like at that point it depends on the person, because when you've been doing something a certain way for so long, and then something really drastic changes, then that survival mode inside of each person's mind is going to flick on, and they're going to react how they react. So
and you're like, what's going on? Something's different, sort of deal. So from then, that's where you kind of sit down with your significant other and be like, look, if you can't give me this, how we've been doing it, sort of thing. Like, I mean, it might be time for that relationship to end, because
you were perpetrating for 20 years, and now I see how you really are. So it's like, damn.
Yeah. And I don't want to do this another 5 years or whatever, especially, if you're in your 40s, 50s, maybe. Like, you might still be able to find someone, even though I feel like you can be 70 or 80 and it might still be somebody out there, just not me.
Well, that's why my relationships, I just nip it, because I don't want to have somebody get used to me and me get used to somebody else, and we're together for so long, and then that were to happen. I feel like that is just not even right. I feel like that's actually wrong. If you commit to somebody and you go as far as to marry someone, then you should really take that very, very seriously, because that is the long-term commitment.
And that's the thing.
You're all in then.
You can tell. You can tell after that. How I gauge it is this: you can tell after that first fight if y'all meant to be or not. After that honeymoon, after that first fight is going to dictate all. That's where I think that, especially young males, should definitely this is a vital and crucial point, because you're past all of that, like you said, honeymoon, you're even into month 8, 9, 10, maybe even a year now. And y'all might not even had a fight yet. That first fight dictates how you control yourself and how you can help your partner understand that, hey, I took it here. I'm not going to go past this 10 or this 9, but this is like my draw. Like, this is where I draw the line. And that's what it is. That first fight is a line drawer. And that's what I think where I messed up a lot of people need to understand is you show that draw the line side of you, I guess is what I'm trying to explain. And then you leave it at that. And because then they know that to not go past that line ever, because there's no sense in doing that. Same thing with women. You don't have to be just, up in arms and just, slap them, hit them. You don't have to do none of that. But you draw that line and you meet it there. And trust me, the guy will respond to that. But see, what happens is both people sometimes they go over, above, and beyond that. They overreact, and then you just can't trust that person anymore. They can't even trust themselves. Right. And that's what I told my wife when I met her. This is it. Like, you don't want to see me go past that, and I don't want to see you go past that either. So, and I think we've always had like an understanding at that point. And I think no one wants to see that shit. No.
Yeah, that's good. That's beautiful. And another thing I want to say is that when you start to put the time in with somebody, when you're with somebody and you're around them all the time, like, you really do start to become one with them.
Yes.
So if you were to just leave them, there is not only like kind of a mental thing that they'll have to go through, it's a physical thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's just a lot to put somebody through. So
those couples together 60, 70 years, and we see stories
can you
like
imagine?
that.
Oh man.
Like the
That's
wife
so
dies
sad.
or the husband dies, and then what happens, like the wife dies like within a week
later,
or a couple months later. It's just so unbearable.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, and on that whole argument thing, it's not and just to add to what you were saying, it's not just how how y'all go at each other. It's also that recovery phase of you might want to apologize if you did something, and
definitely,
and then you got to explain why you went there or what happened. Like, you have to be able to put enough on. I don't even know the word, but you need to be able to at least interact and figure out what happened, why everybody reacted the way they did. And so, yeah, it's not just about, it's about recovery, I guess, recovery mode.
Yeah. And you know where people would learn from that? It's like, and I'm just going to say this, and it's going to be my piece. Basically, like you had said earlier, Alexis, women need that emotional understanding. Men actually like logical understanding. So if a man messes up or the woman messes up, or they both mess up and they both are arguing, and then that recovery phase, Antonio, that you're talking about, right? With women, they need to apologize logically. Hey, logically, I understand where you're coming from with this. I didn't see it that way. You're a logical and understanding man. This is where I was feeling. The man says, hey, I wasn't in tune to your feelings. My apologies. I'm more logical than you are in that sense, in that moment. So I get that. Are we still good? That's all the fuck it is, man.
Yeah.
That's all I've been noticing. It's like, just because men are not going to be able to be so in tune with women. We're not able to.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. And women, fairly, though they can be logical sometimes, they're not always the same as a man like that. So they want the emotional understanding. So just give a little bit for,
yes. And, still a man, still a woman. There's always so much to learn. So I think it's really important to be open to learning always as well.
Fair. That's fair.
And on a bigger note, with the whole relationship wise, like, when you pick someone, it has to be someone that, I guess, builds you up. It can't just be like just because you think they look good or some shit. Like, they have to have some kind of character quality. The way they live, their whole presence around you, does it lift you up?
Right.
And stay away. Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
And I was just gonna add, it ain't on no vain shit, because beauty and all that shit goes away.
Oh, that goes away.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
And like, yeah, definitely. Like, I'm just gonna say, don't get no yes man. Like, honestly, sometimes I say no on purpose, because sometimes I just know where certain events are gonna go when it comes to my wife and I, or this, that, and the other, or even just when I was dating. Like, sometimes date somebody who will actually not challenge you and like always make it difficult for you, no, but like actually somebody that got a fucking backbone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it can like put some other things into perspective too, man.
Okay. You want to get slapped a little?
Oh, I mean, I think you might be into that a little bit.
Slap me up a little bit.
No, man.
I'm not into no physical stuff.
I don't like that butt grabbing too much either. Hey, women, if you like grabbing men's booties and trying to tickle their fancy, you need to get out of that shit. We don't like that shit. I don't like it. My wife tries it. I don't want it. I don't want nothing to do with it.
No, it's like, if you ain't scoring no touchdown with me, don't be doing all that.
Don't be doing.
Nice hustle,
man. You'll start talking about, you'll like it. No, I won't like it. No. No.
And we're not shaming any guys that do like that.
I'm shaming your ass. No.
I'm
Damn, bro.
She's like, I'll get it one day.
No, you have to get me drunk.
I'm gonna get that booty.
I gotta be on everything. Coke, heroin, crack. I gotta be on everything for you to get me on that type of shit.
She I'll just never be take on that. It when you sleep, man.
Now's my chance.
No.
Norse, like it was non-consensual. I did not ask for none of that.
I got guns and shit, and she held a gun in my. I got guns in the house. Oh my goodness, hold me at gunpoint. Like, no, man. No.
She took it. She took it. It was like a prison. What is it? A blanket party at prison.
That's fucked up. Don't talk about
hey, that's what goes down, man. From what I heard.
That's enough. That bottom line, it ain't happening. So
we seen them prison, them jailhouse movies.
Lord, man. Oh my goodness. Oh, like Oz. I seen
nobody's safe.
No.
Yeah, pretty much. That shower sex scene. That shower sex scene is, it hit. It hit a lot different in the prison system.
Y'all are telling me a whole lot about yourselves, honestly. So I'm gonna keep it at that. Oh my goodness, man, Jesus. But honestly, man, relationships, man, for real though, it should be fun. But like I said, draw that line at certain things. Like, there's some things you gotta draw a line at, and it needs to be received well by your counterpart. It got to, because some people get in relationships, man, and then they just allow things to happen. Like, honestly, you have the freedom to just leave. And that can be another discussion we can have later on, too, is domestics and all that stuff going on, and fights that get a little bit too out of hand. And, for men and women to leave certain situations when they know it's, that you have to. You know what I'm saying? And knowing when to leave, and knowing if you should stay, and the signs to look for this. We can get into that too, but honestly,
a lot of logistics there, man.
Man.
It's an open book.
It is
very open, and hell, everyone could add a chapter or two.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Well, I'm gonna say this: it's been a pleasure talking to y'all, and we need to reconvene. We need to do this what I was gonna say was we all can come up with some talking points, and like kind of just organically include them in the conversation like today. Because there's some things that I'll get back on Facebook and promote this shit now, because I'm not even on Facebook right now.
Yeah.
And we need to get on this, and I'll start pushing it. And this was good. I think we had a good segment today.
Nice balance too, finally.
Yeah, I agree. I love.
Did you enjoy your time? Did you enjoy talking with us?
I really did. I'm really.
You lost track of time, didn't you?
Oh yeah, Oh yeah.
That's how you know it's good, when you just lose track of time. Like, damn, we've been talking 3 hours. Oh shit.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Listen. If I had the luxury of waking up at 1:30 every day, I'd be like, hell shit. Yeah, I lost track of time. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, I have my own little hustle going. I have
there
my
you
own
go.
my own small business. I work from home, and
nice.
So
damn,
I just
that's why I'm
try to have a
get
balanced
at.
life. Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm super thankful and super honored, you know, and I was kind of taken back when you were like co-host, because that'd be really cool. Like, this is really chill and I really like it, and I feel like
it's fun.
The people around here could really use it, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know you got an appointment and shit, but
yeah.
But let's do the plug for the website right quick.
For sure.
All right, make sure y'all visit youaregreat.co. This was, our new fresh episode with our new co-host,
Miss Alexis. Now, dude, what's your like? Because I'm Chub P, but AKA Chub P, but I'm obviously Norris. And do you have a? Go ahead.
Yeah, Gaia Speak.
There you go.
Gaia
Speaks,
all right.
Copycat, and Chub P. And this has been Random Shit. Visit
another episode
website.
Of Random Shit.
Yeah, website is youaregreat.co, and like I said, Norris, one day we'll be able to buy that M if y'all keep listening, and we
need the viewers, we need the support, and I'll get that M one day. But for now, I'm okay with it. I'm okay without
it. I don't know, he's cheap. He might never get it, but we'll see.
I am cheap as hell, so give me. I get you on that one. Yeah, that's true. But this has been another episode, y'all, and peace and love to everybody, and
much
love y'all, man.
Love from
love.
Peace, and y'all are great.